You know, from personal experience, feeling like you have a loss of direction, or more troubling even, having a feeling of no direction at all right now in your life is a difficult place to find yourself in. And by the end of this video, I'm going to guide you through a 6-step process, share with you tons of tools and suggestions, and if you stay till the end, I will share with you the #1 tool at your disposal to help you understand that there is not only a clear pathway to a purpose-filled life, but there is a way to find lasting change to the path that your life is heading, and it's just waiting for you to walk down. So let's walk this together. This is Rob for robsewelltransformations.com, helping you find your purpose in life and use it to create lasting change in you. If you want to see more content like this, then make sure that you hit the subscribe button below. Make sure to hit the bell notification to make sure that you don't miss out on all the new content that I'll have for you here each and every week. Now, over the time I've been coaching, for people who have stated a loss of or lack of direction as a current state of mind, I see 2 main reasons for that problem. The first is that they don't see any alternatives, you know, for themselves, and they've got themselves emotionally stuck in a rut. And the second is that maybe you have more than one option to go with right now, and you have a lack of clarity around which to choose. If your issue is the latter, then I've shot another video where I will discuss this, which I'll put up here when I've done it. What I'm going to address to you here, though, is the first and most common problem that, you know what, Rob, I just don't see or know that there are alternative paths to the life that I'm currently living. Well, of course, we all know that there are a million different things that different people do with their lives, but we always kind of say, well, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could change. I don't really know what I'm passionate about. We lack real purpose. That is my experience of past life. So I'm going to tell you how to find real clarity on finding direction again in your life. And this is serious stuff that I'm going to share with you. If you want some quick fix solution to get you out of a funk, then there are plenty of other videos and blogs out there which will help you to do that. Which is fine, but scratching the surface with this subject won't solve your problems long term. And it'll only leave you right back here where you started. I want to share with you the transformational solution to your problem on having a lack or a loss of direction in your life. Before that, let me tell you why I'm qualified to do that. After being an academic research scientist for 10 years, I completely lost my passion and my direction in life. And so I went for the classic response to this kind of life event, and I went for the career change. But the mistake that I made was I just simply chose something that I could do and that gave me more money and more responsibility and chance of progress, which was corporate sales and marketing in the same industry. Well, after some initial enthusiasm in this new role, I found myself once again lacking passion and purpose and direction, and I thought I would be stuck in that cycle of life forever. And then for another 10 years, as my anxiety rose and my depression deepened, I drifted into drinking, and at the age of 43, I had to admit to myself that I'd become an alcoholic. Now, after a period of 9 months of recovery, I was ready to go back to work, but I didn't really know what to do apart from sales and marketing, which I really didn't want to do. But I went for an interview, which went really well. And as I left the room and I walked down the stairs and I went through the reception and out onto the street, I began to cry. I couldn't support my weight. I fell to my knees because I realized in that moment, if I carried back down on that route that I'd always been on, all I would do is manifest exactly the same kind of results that I'd always got in my life. And ultimately, I was going to have a lack of direction. I was going to be unhappy. Something had to change, and it wasn't out there. It was an inside job. To find real purposeful direction in life, it is us that have to change. Now that was back in 2017 for me, and a lot has happened then since, completely changing my life, building online businesses with no prior experience, for instance, and completely finding and changing the direction of my life. So let me share with you what I found was most important. Most of it is very simple, but it's not that easy. But that's just life, right? So the first thing to do is you have to start to talk with other people. That could be people closest to you, it could be friends, colleagues, people in groups, forums. Get out and meet different people. There are two different aspects to this. The first is that you only know what you already know. If you want to change and find a new direction in your life, if you stay simply inside your own head, then all you're going to manage to do is achieve exactly the same kind of results, or at very best a slight variation of the life that you have right now. And as you're watching a video entitled Loss of Direction, I'm assuming you're looking for a more radical change in your life. The second reason is that, for talking with people is that one of the biggest issues we have when feeling a loss of direction and purpose in life is we tend to keep that to ourselves. We can resign ourselves to not being able to do something about the state of mind that we're in. Now, I said that some of these points may be simple, but sharing your issues with others, it's not always that easy, of course. Even for the confident person, we may fear judgment of looking stupid or looking weak. But believe me, when you start to share your vulnerabilities, something magical will happen. You'll start to feel more liberated, as this is the first sign that you are accepting that you're not in a good place. And once you get to a place of acceptance, then real change can actually start to occur. Okay, so that leads us on to step 2, which is accept your current situation and your current state of mind to stop going through the motions. Again, you might say, well, Rob, that's a little bit simplistic, isn't it? Well, yes, it is. And let me tell you also why this isn't easy and requires real inner work. So let me give you practical examples. If we're stuck in negative beliefs and emotions that don't serve us to move forward and find clarity and direction in our lives, then nothing will change for us. So here's what I suggest, and I'll leave links to some resources at the bottom in the description that I found very useful for myself a few years ago. To be more receptive to what is true, not what you perceive is true, I can recommend understanding the true nature of who we really are. So reading books like The Power of Now, for instance, by Eckhart Tolle, or one of my favorite books, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. These kinds of texts bring you out of the mind and into the realms of your true nature, which will tap into your intuition, as we can't always simply think our way out of the mind and find the clarity that we're going to need here. Another part of acceptance is realizing that we have very limiting beliefs. In this state of thinking that you're in surrounding having a lack or a loss of direction, limiting beliefs such as I can't make a change, I'm not good enough, I can't afford to change, I'm too old to make a change, all of these things start to arise. And to address this, I would suggest journaling to start off with. Write down what you feel with absolute honesty, are all the excuses that you cannot do something new, that you can't get out of this state of mind. These are all excuses. Now, they may seem real to you right now, which is fine, but if you then go on and do the inner work around these feelings, you understand that they're just beliefs. And what are beliefs but just a collection of thoughts we decide fit our liking, which we then make our reality. Beliefs can be changed. But how do we do that? Well, you can start right here on YouTube, for instance. There's tons of resources around limiting beliefs. Start with people like Tony Robbins or people of the same ilk, for instance. I have videos on limiting beliefs, which I'll put down in the description for you. You can talk to professionals such as counselors and therapists, or if you're very serious about making a big change in your life, get a life coach to help you find a new direction. Coaches may all deal with various kinds of people in their niche, but they all essentially coach people through negative limiting beliefs. I help people find their purpose in life as fledgling entrepreneurs, but 80% of my time with clients is discussing negative beliefs. Okay, the third step is you've got to get clear on what is truly important to you, what you value. How can we find a new direction in life, one which brings us real, true fulfillment without knowing what is truly important to us? How many of you can tell me, for instance, what your top 3 values are? Let alone your top 10. Now, you can take this as deep as you want. How far you go down that rabbit hole is your choice. But I would suggest that you delve into the depth of your past, your present, your future, as well as the far reaches of your mind to understand what values are really important for you. When you're aligned to this, you will begin to get clarity on the direction and be unstoppable in everything you do. One exercise that I can offer you to find your values is the timeline exercise, where you're going to choose 10 great and 10 bad experiences in your life and journal around them and start to get some clarity on your values and strengths that you can draw from that exercise. Again, I'll leave a resource for you in the description below. That exercise will draw out common themes that will go to make up your values and your strengths. So check out that resource below in the description. The fourth step is, once you know what your values are, you can start to look at finding your life's purpose. When you find high consciousness values and you smash your ego into smithereens by looking at limiting beliefs, you can find a higher life's purpose. When you can do that, you can embody that, you will reach a new plane of existence where anything is possible. My life's purpose is to be a guiding light to show people to a space where they feel safe and understood, so they may find peace and balance throughout life's changes. Now, you might think that just sounds like a bunch of words to you, but for me, those words mean everything. And I was able to find all of that from working on my values and understanding what is important to me. When you do that, this enables you to find a specific life purpose, where we're going to be able to combine what we love with what we're good at, with what impact that you can have on the world, and how then you can get paid for that. This is where I would recommend using a process called Ikigai, where we're looking for that sweet spot in between those 4 areas that I just spoke about. This Ikigai, or reason for living, becomes then your new direction in life, something that you can pursue. There's a whole wealth of information on the internet about Ikigai. Again, I'll leave some of my references in terms of videos and blogs in the description below to help you. The 5th step is that then you are ready to go on and craft a vision. Now, if you don't have a vision of what you want to achieve, how can you find direction in your life? Now, if you have a loss of direction in your life right now, then a vision may be very far away from your mind, which is why it's important to find values and purpose first, as this will help you understand what your vision will become. When we have a clear vision of what you want, you can start to work with it. So here we can do things like daily visualizations in the morning, seeing and feeling what you want as though it's already happened. One great visualization exercise is called the future self meditation, where you visualize having a conversation with your future self. This is a great way of being able to understand what your vision for life is all about. And you can check out a link in the description below where I have a video of the future self meditation for you. Another thing we can do is affirmations to reprogram our subconscious to be able to manifest whatever you want. If you want to know more about these kind of techniques, I will post more of these on my channel here. And one person I would suggest that you look at in this area is the speaker and author Jack Canfield. Also check out the book and or the film The Secret if you want to know more about vision and law of attraction and manifesting. If you have a loss of direction, right now, then understand all of what I'm talking about here. Values, purpose, vision are all key to finding your direction again and implementing a new life. Believe me, I've done it. Finally, step 6. Once you have found that new direction in your life, you have to then go and actually do something about it, right? You have to go on and make that change. How many people think about doing something but then don't follow through? You know, how many people read self-development books and do courses and go to seminars but don't do anything about it? I've certainly been guilty of that in the past. Finding new direction is only meaningful if you implement actions to make a change. So we need to change our habits. Now, habits appear to be on the surface something that we do, but behind that is what we are really being, what our intentions are, and so what we will create. Again, this is why values and purpose and vision are so important. Creating winning habits isn't about changing your behavior or your attitude or trying hard or using willpower. That will work for 5 minutes. Habits are something that we do over and over again, so we need a complete paradigm shift here. We need to change the way we view and the way we perceive. Habits are implicitly linked to our perception. Let me give you an example. When I was an alcoholic, I would often become angry with my son, and he was always getting into trouble at school, never doing his homework, and I would get angry with him. And I believed it was his fault I was angry. You know, he wasn't doing what I wanted him to do, what he should be doing, so I had this right to be angry. This became a very destructive habit, which helped neither of us, of course. It wasn't until I had a huge paradigm shift on getting sober that I realized that I was not getting angry with my son because he was not behaving, but because I was fearful for his future because of his bad behavior. You know, I feared that he would not do well in life, and this fear manifested into anger. Furthermore, I was shown that my fear came up from a place of love. You know, my love for him and wanting him to do well in life led to fear and then to anger. So the huge paradigm shift for me came when I realized I was angry with my son because I loved him. You know, well, that was a big day of crying for me. So guess what happened to my habit of getting angry and expressing that? It completely changed, right? Now, I still felt angry, and still sometimes I can, right? He's 16, yeah? But the difference now is that when I feel any anger or annoyance around any of my son's behavior or anyone else's for that matter, I'm able to catch that and understand that I need to offer love and compassion for him to make him feel safe and understood. Part of my purpose, right? If you were listening earlier. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but that has completely changed mine and my son's life. This is how paradigm shift can create a winning habit. Anger to love. The habit change wasn't something that I did. It was something that I became. It was a way of being love, not fear or anger. It's in these shifts of paradigms where the real magic happens for us to be in the space where we can create and implement and change our direction in life. There's no quick and easy way to achieve what you want without going through the natural process of work and growth that makes it possible. You know, when people see others making significant changes in their lives and they want the same, their immediate request is usually, well, how do you do it? You know, give me the tips, quick, please. Maybe that's what you were doing when you came onto this video. But what they're really saying is, give me a push button, fix it, quick scheme, please. Changing your life, creating something new cannot be patched up and done quickly. If you do, the underlying chronic condition remains, the same habits remain. To change our habits, we must look at the things differently. and through the eyes of values and through purpose. I think it was Albert Einstein that said the significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them. We need a new, deeper level of insight and paradigm shifts based on our values, an inside-out approach which is showing you the accurate territory of effective human being. For example, if you want to have a better relationship with your teenager, be more loving and understanding. If you want to have a better relationship with your boss at work, be more responsible, a more responsible and helpful employee. There's nothing that we need to do. We need to change our state of being to create winning habits, to get those results that we want. The opposite is how most of us live our lives, right? And how I lived my life for 43 years, which is to be the victim of circumstances to other people. You don't change circumstances or people by expecting them to change. That's obvious, right? But we do it over and over again. We perceive the problem being out there. They have to change. This has to change before I can make a new direction in my life. Inside out paradigm shifts are a prerequisite for forming winning habits and making change. So what are habits really? Well, for a detailed explanation on habits and how to change them, I've created a video for you, and I'll list that in the description below for your reference. But briefly, we can define them here as the intersection of knowledge, of skill, and of purpose. So knowledge is the what to do. Skill is the how to. And purpose, which I guess encompasses things like passion and desire, is the motivation or the want to do something. And to create a winning habit, we need all three of these. So let's take parenting of a teenager as an example, one I know only too well at being ineffective with in the past. I may be ineffective because I tell them what I think, but I'm not interested in listening to what they say. I may not even know that I need to listen. And even if I know to effectively parent a teenager that I need to listen, I may not really know how to listen and empathize. I don't have the skills. But knowing I need to listen and how to listen is not enough to create a winning habit. I have to want to listen to really form an effective habit. And how do you change your habits? It will all come through all of the steps that I've talked about above. Understanding value, finding purpose, and creating vision. And as I said, check out the link to a more detailed video on habits in the description below if you want more information. So if you have a loss of direction right now, there are many other quick videos and blogs out there that will help you get some guidance to get you moving, but they will not give you real lasting change. Start to think about what I'm talking about here in this video if you want a lasting change and direction in your life. Have a look at some of the resources in the description and the suggestions of things and people to check out that I've given you. And you can actually make a start towards a new, fulfilled, purposeful, direction-fueled life. And finally, if you want the ultimate tool, if you want to really understand how to completely change the direction of your life and receive the highest level of guidance in achieving it, then you can check out the link below in the description for my Find Your Purpose and Understand How to Implement It online course on Udemy, where I'll take you from the conception of a new life to a state of being where you will find your specific purpose in life and understand how to implement and get paid for it. So make sure that you check out that link in the description below. All right, that wraps this one up for now. So if you enjoyed that, give it a like for me. If you want more content like this, then make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell to make sure that you get content from me every week, and you're aware of that, and I'll see you in the next one.